How's it going, everybody? My name is River, and today we are going to be talking about Hyperbloom in Genshin Impact and why content creators do not want you to stop using it. Today is going to be a very serious video. Before we begin, allow me to show you one of the many examples of why you should not be using Hyperbloom. I would like to first and foremost introduce you to Walter. Now, Walter used to be a snowman with many friends. He had a lot going for him and he was a very happy guy. But then suddenly, on a warm Christmas morning, someone offered him a Dendro core. Combining Electro, Hydro, and Dendro, he created his first Hyperbloom, and he was never the same after that day. Not only did Walter turn to an unfortunate life of crime, he also began exclusively using Hyperbloom in the Spiral Abyss, and no other teams. He began to lose consciousness, self-awareness, self-respect, the ability to form his own opinions, because at the end of the day, the only thing that he knew how to do anymore was play Hyperbloom, something that had corroded his brain to such an intense amount, something completely devastating that no one should ever have to experience. The thing that these content creators do not tell you is that Hyperbloom is actively destroying your life, your friend groups, everyone you love, everyone you care about. Let me tell you a story. Day after day, boss fight after boss fight, the only thing that I could ever think about was Hyperbloom. I would lay in my bed at night thinking about Electro, Dendro, and Hydro. It was the only thing that mattered to me. There was nothing I wouldn't do to create another Hyperbloom. Anything to numb the feeling of losing the 50-50. Anything to numb the feeling of not being good at the game. All I ever wanted was for Hyperbloom to understand me, and it took advantage of me. It used me for its own personal gain. Now you might think that this is a joke. You might look at this video and think, hey, this guy's gotta be kidding. And I wish I was, but Hyperbloom is a very serious thing. If you or anyone you know uses Hyperbloom, I suggest that you send this video to them immediately if you care about them in the slightest. Once you start using Hyperbloom, you begin to look at other elements as less than, or not as good. You might even believe that there is no reason in pulling a character if they do not benefit Hyperbloom, which is a very negative way to look at the game. I understand the flashing numbers are very appealing. I understand that it is a very free-to-play element. I understand how much you've invested in your Kuki Shinobu. I understand everything about your pain. And I guess at the end of it all, when I finally was able to put Hyperbloom down and look at life from a new perspective, only then did I truly appreciate every single element in Genshin Impact. At the end of the day, I just want to help one single person from using Hyperbloom. Born to dilly-dally, but forced to lock in. If you guys were to be so kind as to leave Walter a supportive comment down below, it would mean everything to him. For every subscriber that I get, that is one less person that uses Hyperbloom.